You can support this show at patreon.com/ASAPodcasting. Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast, where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories, add your tales. Let's get into this thing. Hello. Welcome back to a Skyrim Addict podcast. Going to be a little shortened version. About to head off to vacation. We had the 12-hour event last week, which the roundtable from last week was a part of. So that was a good time. We raised about $570-ish for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. So that was good. It exceeded my expectations. Gave away the loot crate earlier tonight. Jack ended up winning it and used a randomizer from random.org. They have a random number generator, which is nice. You can check out that video of me doing the random number generator, which is incredibly exciting, over at the YouTube channel. It's basically me sharing my screen and clicking generate and the number pops up. So it's very thrilling. Other than that, I'm getting ready to go away. I'm bringing I've been playing Fallout 4 recently, I must admit, but I'm going to be heading out of town, and I'll be bringing my little Alienware with me and getting back into Oblivion and Skyrim this week. Probably mostly Oblivion. Probably a little bit of Skyrim, because I want to I don't want to lose the feel of Oblivion right now. It's been probably about 2 weeks since I played it, so I don't want to lose that controller feel I've had going with it. And you just get lost and you forget like what quests you were in the middle of and all. And I know I'm in the middle of the Mages College, and I also have a Mages College issue in the middle of the Arcane University in Oblivion and Mages College in Skyrim. And I have a glitch in the Skyrim one, which is stopping me from advancing. So I got to kind of check on that and see what the deal is. Other than that, got a couple emails from Dave for his updates for his characters, McBeta. So I'll get into a few of those and then finish off the show. I'll probably be back on next week after I get home. Put together a show on Sunday. We're starting to nail down a date for the roundtable now, so it'll be sometime in December. Be the next episode. Holiday season, things get a little hectic. But if you're playing Fallout 4, don't forget to check out our Fallout show, the Fallout feed. A couple episodes posted this week. They were taken from the 12-hour podcast. I probably have another one I'll put together from that, but not until next week. And I know Jack's looking at scheduling an episode at some point next week, so there is that. So let me get into the story of McBeta here. All right. So, Riverwood and beyond to Falkreath. So after much soul-searching, we resolved to head to Falkreath. I had a look at the map. I decided to get there via Riverwood, past the Standing Stones, and take the scenic route along Lake Ilanalta, sorry. It was nice to travel through Riverwood again, though. Faendal obviously still hasn't forgiven me. Stupid Wood Elf needs to get over it. Braylina thought Camilla was a bit gushing and forward. Who can read a woman's mind? We were about to pass the Embershard mine entrance when I remembered that bloody bandit leader. Well, now there were more of us, and he was in big trouble. If you remember back earlier in the story, he went in there when he restarted the character and could not beat the bandit chief and had to flee. He had obviously done some recruiting, as we had to clear the whole damn place again. Talk about deja vu. Anyway, we nailed his big orc arse to the wall and cleared the place out. Quite profitable, apart from the less than useful spell tome of clairvoyance. Yeah, not really useful to anything. Braylina was enchanted by the Standing Stones, but told me she was happy with her own choice of stone and didn't need to select any of them. She never told me what her one was. On we went, past the bandit camp area I had cleared out weeks ago, heading towards the lake. Braylena spotted a shrine of Talos, so we had to investigate. There seemed to be dead bodies all over the place. Mostly they were Talos worshippers, but there was also a Thalmar Justicar laying there. A quick search identified him as one Sanyan. It would appear from a letter we found on him that he was not the most competent of agents. Shame. Good riddance, I say. I tried to raise the dead on him, but he just lay there like a sack of potatoes. I really need to get better at this. We had only gone a short distance when he had to tackle some bloody wolves. I ducked up a hill to get a better view of them and came under attack from a damn conjurer who was near a sacrificial table covered in bones. Oh, I know where that's at. These places you run into that you remember when you hear things. Boney had to go to begin with, but this guy was good with fire spells, and it took all of us to take him down. Lots of bones and ingredients. I never even got one of their bony bodies on their feet. Damn, I'm so bad this raid is dead. Harvested what I could from the wolves. We continued along the shoreline. Braylena pointed out the island, which has the Lady Stone. How did she know that? We passed the white horse grazing by the roadside. A white horse, sorry. I said the because I live near the White Horse Pike. So it threw me off a little bit. We passed a white horse grazing by the roadside. No sign of anybody. We just kept going. Probably a call of nature. It happens out here. Down towards the city of Falkreath, and there they were. The guards, as soon as they saw us, one of them advanced. I thought we were going to have to run from here. I'm not taking on hold guards. No way. Have you seen a dog on the road? The guard asked. Sighs of relief all around. Only wolves, was my cheerful reply. Apparently the blacksmith is offering a reward for a dog he saw on the road. We headed for the aptly named inn, Dead Man's Drink. I have never seen so many graves in one place. The city is so depressing. Expensive dinner, a few drinks, then bed. Slept a full 12 hours almost. Drogo's starting to snore, and not in a genteel way. Bloody cat snuffles in his sleep. I'm considering a dog, I tell him. Yes, so if you remember, Drogo, I believe, is the saber cat, and who blocks doorways regularly. So they are all sleeping in one room together. And I have another one here. I have one more. I'm going to save that for next week's show, because I know he's playing some Fallout 4 he mentioned. So just in case, I like to break it up a little bit. So next week we'll get to that part 3. But here's the second one. People and the Jarl of Falkreath. I'm still not sure about going to see the Jarl of this misbegotten and very wet city. I thought I would have a walk around and get a feel for the place and its Jarl. It never seems to stop bloody raining. Went to see the blacksmith, and it turns out he was looking for a dog. I negotiated a small fee and got a lump of meat as bait. Thought I should do this right away because the meat was a bit strong. I left Braylena in town and wandered up past the gate to the main road. There was the dog. The dog ran up. Bloody hell, it spoke to me. I dropped the meat in surprise and started to back away. You're just what I was looking for. I stopped fascinated and listened. Turns out it's Clavicus Vile's dog, Barbas, and they seem to have had a slight disagreement. Who or what argues with a Daedric prince? Not me, for one. I just walked away, shaking my head. He shouted after me to meet him at Hamar's Shame. Then the damn dog just trotted past me like he owned the place and ran straight through town. Nobody did a damn thing. I bumped into Thadgeir chopping wood. I had met him and his brother, Dengir, last night at the inn. We had drunk a few drinks together, and I had foolishly promised to take his old friend's ashes to the priest. Dengir had struck me as a bit paranoid. He's the current Jarl's uncle, and he claims it was a conspiracy by the Empire to get rid of him as Jarl. I put it down to the drink and the old age. Thadgeir seemed to agree with me. I think, but not out loud. Anyway, seeing him reminded me I had to take the urn down to the priest. I remember thinking on the way down, what a waste of good body. People really have no consideration. Buried in a grave, I could have at least tried to raise him up. Now, no chance. How am I going to get raise dead practice. The Priest of Arcade was pretty happy to do the necessary, as he knew all about it. He even gave me a few gold, but there was a catch. There always is when you chat to people. He had lost his journal when he was in Brittleshin Pass, and he asked if I was ever in there to have a look for it. Somewhere in the middle, he reckoned. Man, I don't think I've done that quest in like ages. I know it's a little fetch quest, but I go through Brittleshin all the time. How have I? I don't talk to a lot of people in Falkreath. Reading these is reminding me that I talk to almost no one in Falkreath except for Lod asking for the dog. Anyway, sorry, I digress. I'm really too nice, and people take advantage. I've told this to Brylena and Drogo lots of times. So I said that if I'm ever in there, I'll take a look. More than half the day is gone. Brylena chased me up about the Jarl's letter, sighed a bit, and then headed up to the Longhouse via the inn. I need a drink and some food before meeting the Jarl. The Jarl looks very young, and I had along a bottle of Blackbriar mead with me as a sweetener. His uncles told me that he was a tippy. He seemed quite pleased, so I relaxed a bit and told him who I was. Well, he knew all about Sarthal. He has a cousin up there who writes him a letter occasionally, and that's how he got a hold of my name. Mystery solved, so thank the divines. He seems to think I'm some sort of hero type, and now he wants me to clear out a bandit camp. He had dealings with the bandit leader in the past and can't use his guards because of that. So down to me, apparently. Oh, crap. Back to the inn to discuss the situation, get a plan of action with Brylena over a meal, a drink, and then some sleep. Gods, I hope Drogo is quiet tonight, as I'm really tired. So that was 2 updates from Dave there with his Mac Beta character. And like I said, I'll get to the next one next week, because depending on how much I get to play this week, so I have some things to jump off of is always nice. The emails are incredibly appreciated. They're fantastic. I love the way he writes about his characters. But yeah, hearing about Falkreath, I don't talk to half of those people anymore. I feel like I'm missing things. When you first get into the game, you're reading everything, you're exploring everything, you're noticing everything. And I feel like when I go back, I don't do that as much. I click through too fast, and I don't talk to everyone that I could talk to. I kind of have quests that I know I'm going to do, and then I go do them. And I'm kind of just missing out on all those little ones that are in all those towns, all those people you run into and meet and are interconnected and everything. So I think I gotta work on that. Maybe with this necromancer character, I'll work on going around talking to the people more. Because necromancers are people persons. Well, they use them anyway. But I think I'm gonna have to go to Falkreath and talk to the people. And I don't know if I've ever really talked to the people in Markarth that much, because I haven't really explored the city to that, other than going to places I need to go. And I'm, I don't even know, 1,500 plus hours in, I'm gonna say conservatively. And there's probably things I did that I completely forget about now that I did 4 years ago. So yeah, this is definitely inspiring me to go back and do a little more reading and a little more talking, a little more listening, instead of just blowing through and just experiencing the game a little better. So, well, that is what I have for this time. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you to everyone who was involved in the charity podcast, who donated or came on. Shailene from Fallout Off the Record, who hopped on. It's fantastic talking to her again. Sherry, of course, from Australia. The Sherry from Australia. Colin, Victor, Will from Hooplecast, which is a Deadwood podcast, and many other podcasts. He's Long Claw on Twitter. Who else hopped on? Andrew, Colin, Victor, Jack, Sherry, Shailene. I'm probably forgetting people. Blake was on. Zach was on from Plug and Play. There was an impromptu Earwash show. If you ever listened to Earwash in the past, That if you go over to Mixler, it's like hour 5 or hour 6, something like that. The whole 12 hours is over there. MIXLR. It's ASA podcasting channel over there. So if you search ASA podcasting, it'll come up. But if you want to go back and check out any of it, most of the audio from the 12 hours is there, broken into hour-long segments. So, and I'm drawing blanks on other people who were on. I know there was other people that I'm now forgetting. Sherry actually hopped on in the morning, or at nighttime, her time, and then in the morning. She went to sleep and woke up in the time we were still recording. So that was pretty fun at the end there. But yeah, no, it was a good time for a great cause, and it's just great when a community can come together and do things like that. So that's all I got. You want to join the Facebook group? Right now, it's a little Fallout heavy in there, but never be afraid to post Skyrim Elder Scrolls stuff in there. People are playing ESO. I know Juan's playing a lot of ESO. Colin got ESO working again, so I'm sure he's playing some. But always feel free to post any of the Skyrim Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, ESO, whatever stuff. Right now when a new game comes out like that, it kind of takes over everything. But man, Skyrim's still good. 4 years later, still such a good game. Still so many things to do, so many ways to play it. And I'm super pumped about the Season of the Necromancer roundtable. It's really fun playing that character. It's just so different from anything I've ever done. And now, after reading the emails tonight, I'm definitely going to take my time a little more, because I'm beginning to realize how much I miss when I play the game each time. So, all right, I got to get to bed. I have a flight in a few hours. Take care, everyone. Hello. Me today are back. I probably sound a little under the weather because I am. I can kind of breathe. Anyway, gosh. I was on vacation last week, so I caught something somewhere amongst the people. I did get actually a bunch of Skyrim playtime in. Oddly enough, I brought my little Alienware was it Alpha with me on vacation. And unfortunately, though, I could not get the sound to work. It wasn't picking up the sound through the HDMI and the TV. So then I tried the optical audio, and it still wasn't picking it up. But so I had to play Skyrim on silent all week, which was interesting. I was going to play Oblivion, but I found that way harder to play on silent than Skyrim for some reason. I think I've played Skyrim on silently previously without any sound. Like while recording and stuff. So I think I've become a little bit used to it. Whereas Oblivion, I kind of need the sounds. I feel like I use the sounds more in Oblivion to get through the game. But yeah, I got most of the time, and then sometimes I would get kicked off, and Connor would be playing. He's playing through the main quest right now. He just battled Alduin at Third of the World. So I guess he's about to head to Skulldolphin and, all that stuff. So, yeah, he's going through the main quest for the first time as a 7-year-old and asking me every 5 minutes what to do. So usually he runs into issues with the prompts, like conversation prompts and stuff, saying the right thing to the right person at the right time to get them to do what you want. That's generally where he runs into issues. Or if it's ridiculously tough and he can't beat it. He was very excited to beat Alduin, however, at the Third of the World. However, I guess he knows what happens. He's watched enough videos on the Skyrim playthroughs and stuff. But sorry about that. Had a cough. So yeah, he kind of knows the main quest. So he's going through that, and but me, I am going through the Mages College and the Marin Zaya Stones. So I finished the Mages College. This is for my roundtable character, so we'll get into it more in the roundtable. Just kind of go over it lightly here. Yeah, so I finished Mages College as a necromancer,
12th deer. That was a little tough without sound because I forgot some like I knew I had to do the Staff of Magnus on the ball in the center, but when you don't get reminded of these things, sometimes you forget because it's been quite a while since I did the Mages College full playthrough, and so I did that, battled Arcano, obviously after going and getting the staff, and his little minion there is at the end of that little run through. But so anyway, I'm now on the quests for the Baron's Eye Stones. I don't have my character in front of me. I haven't hooked everything back up yet since getting back last night, so I'm kind of just going off of memory what I've played. And since I was helping Connor, I kind of have both things in my head at the moment. But so I know I went. Oh, I had that issue at Mazolft where I couldn't get in because the guy wouldn't die. I forget his name exact. The guy who's sitting dead, who's supposed to die after you talk to him and you get the book and you know what happened and blah blah blah. So I actually had to console command my way through that and advance the quest because no matter what I did, I couldn't get it to work. First, I just console commanded the key for Mazolft and went in and got to the end. And then the guy at the end wouldn't talk to me because I never got the journal. So then I got the journal, and then the guy wouldn't move at the end. And then I just said, screw it. After like an hour of going back and forth and running through Mazolft and all kinds of stuff, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to end this quest. And I did. So I got what I needed there and headed back to the college. And yeah, that's where where I found out from there, you find out where the Staff of Magnus is. And then I went back to the college, blah, blah, blah. The whatchamacallit's dead. Savos Aran is dead. I think that's when they all get kicked out. And Arcano's in there with the Eye of Magnus and all that. So that was kind of what happened there. Anyway, while I was over by Mazolft, I'm picking off the Baron's Eye Stones while I can. And I have the mod loaded up for the quest markers for the Baron's Eye Stones, obviously. And yeah, the little bits of silences are me hacking up along. So I went and got 2 by Mazolft, and apparently, I don't know, maybe I just auto-saved them and didn't save them. I went back to go finish where I was, and I was all the way back. I didn't have them anymore. Like, whatever saves I had were now gone. And so I don't know how far back I am. I don't know. Because with 2 people playing simultaneously, bouncing back and forth, sometimes things disappear, and I got to see how much disappeared. So I may have to slog through and get a couple Baron's Eye Stones again. I'm trying to get them really early so that they're worthwhile. I don't really have any money yet. Maybe like 7,000 gold, something like that. But I don't really need it. I mean, I sell pretty much everything. I'm not hoarding anything, which is nice. Just kind of living clean, just keeping the inventory low. I had to join the Thieves Guild, obviously, to get the Baron's Eye quest going. And where else am I heading? I'm just kind of working on that right now. And since I just finished the Mages College, I'm not sure. Oh, I started the Dark Brotherhood. I figured maybe a Dark Brotherhood Necromancer would be interesting. And I've started to build up my illusion a little bit. So there's that. But that's I don't want to get too much into it. So we got a roundtable coming up soon. And plus my voice, I don't know how long it's going to hold out before I start coughing wildly because I'm completely dried out. So, but I do have a couple pieces from Dave here and more from the journals of Mac Beta. So, this is the one I left off from last week, and then there's another one. And I'll get to those now. Sorry about that. This is a shortened version as Fallout 4 is interfering with my Skyrim track. I had the same problem until last week when I did not bring the Xbox One with me, which is what I'm playing Fallout 4 on. So I played pretty much Skyrim all week. I really wanted to play Oblivion, but the no sound thing really screwed that up for me. He's changing his mind about Fallout 4. I think he went through the same issues with Fallout 3 about lengths of types and obvious play types. And so I guess he's getting more into it now. But here's an extract from the Journal of Mech Beta. All right. He's west by northwest from Falkreath right now. All right. After looking at the map, we decided that to get to Knife Point wasn't going to be too hard. That's where the bandits are, by the way, or so the Jarl says. There's a pretty big keep almost due west of Falkreath called Cracktusk Keep. Travel there by road, and the route after that seems pretty straightforward, basically north and slightly west through the Shrine of Akatosh. Then north. Looks good. Ground looks lacking in mountains with flat valleys and hilly areas. We purchased some items, dry food stuff, and set out a couple days later, fully rested and provisioned. I discovered that I could raise dead animals, so after I killed them, then I raised some for the practice. A bit boring, really, but needs must. It really pisses off the hunters when, when their kills get up and walk away and then collapse and turn into ash if they kill them again. Running out of wildlife in this area, I really must remember not to kill a chicken or a goat in sight of the city guards. The fines add up, you know. Yeah, sorry. Every bit of silence is me coughing. Naturally, nothing is really straightforward as it seems on paper. Cracktusk Keep was easy enough to get to it. It just happened to be occupied by bloody orc hunters who were, shall we say, more than aggressive. I've had this problem with orcs in the past. I reckon their upbringing is pretty harsh, as Malakath is pretty demanding. Daedric Prince. Why take it out on me? I haven't maligned him yet. Anyway, 3 orcs in the keep's external area were dealt with reasonably rapidly. One was pretty difficult with a huge iron maul, but Boney just kept appearing behind him, whilst Drogo snarled and growled on the stairs. Poor Sod couldn't get down from his perch to attack, and Braylena just hit him with fireballs the whole time. Took a while as he was tough. That's kind of how I'm using my Necromancer. I use the Frost Atronach to block doorways a lot if I don't have any dead bodies. So it is nice having something that kind of blocks the way and keeps people at bay while you're working. So here we have Cracktusk Keep's external work area with lots of hides and carcasses under our control. Now, I do skin animals and butcher them for parts, but I rarely use the pelts for providing anything other than the occasional water skin. The bulk are normally sold as cleaned pelts. Decided too much to carry for the moment, so into a hunter's cache I created at the front gate. Looks very natural. I hope I remember where I put this. Interesting that nobody came out of the keep proper. We hadn't been exactly quiet. Do we stay or do we go? Orcs are a tough old race, and we didn't know how many were inside, so I voted to go. Nobody argued for once. I must be getting my speech skills up after all. So after a bite to eat and something to drink, we headed north towards the Shrine of Akatosh. So that's where he left off. Oof. Oh, and yeah, he mentions this in the email, so I'll get to it now. We did the 12-hour podcast last week. We ended up raising over $570. The loot crate that I had purchased Jack ended up winning it from a Fallout feed. No, it was not set up and it was not paid for with podcast money. It was my personal one, so anybody was available, and he did donate. But so yeah, he ended up winning on you can see the video on YouTube. I was on vacation when I did it, or I may have done it like right before I left. I forget. Yeah, the Friday before I left, I did it. Sorry, I need a drink of water. Actually coffee, but who's counting? So yeah, I use a little randomizer to do that. I don't recall. I may have talked about that last week. I apologize if I did. But Jack ended up winning it. We ended up raising $570 some, which was awesome. And that went to Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. And so yeah, no, that all went great. Super awesome to do that. And hopefully maybe next year we can do it again. Maybe for something else. We'll see. But anyway, let's get into the next email here. So he's really enjoying the podcast on both games. Yukon and Victor are blessed. So So pleased your cystic fibrosis marathon went well. 570 is just awesome. Yeah, I was super stoked that it went that well. By the way, thanks for your kind comments on McBait's. No, these are awesome. Still playing Fallout 4 badly. I love the crafting and 10 token art quest. Keep getting distracted by having so many things to do. My cure was, as always, Skyrim to bring a little sanity back into my gaming. Yeah, I feel the same way, and I think Dale was kind of saying the same thing on the Facebook group. He he couldn't play Fallout 4 one day because the kids were on the TV with the Fallout, so he hopped back into Skyrim and kind of got nestled into that little nook again of comfort, and kind of fell back into it again. We all fall back in love, don't we? Here be witches. Excerpt from the Journal of MacBeta Blackstone. We headed north after leaving Cracktusk Keep and its orcish deceased. Bloody things never raised again. It must be a race mind thing. Wolves and deer resurrect no problem. Humans are pretty variable, typical of that species. But orcs are definitely a no-raise option at the moment. They prefer to stay dead, of course. They are elvish origins, so possibly that's the issue. We wandered along with Drogo, casting about hither and yon, being a bloody pest, attracting wolves and scaring deer and elk. Our dinner pot is never going to be filled that quickly. Then we came across a couple hunters and their camp. They kindly shared their venison with us and warned us of a cave to the east which had witches. Best to stay away. They're quite touchy about anyone getting close to them. Well, red rag to bull time. No bloody witch is going to tell me what to do. I'm a dark elf necromancer, and I'm no old crone, and no old crone is going to get one up on me. Braylena did suggest that witches could be quite powerful. Oops, big mistake. I didn't take kindly to being told what I can't do. Is this John Locke? May have to rename the character John Locke. Don't tell me what I can't do. Of course, this turned out to be a really big mistake in the end. The witch at the cave's entrance was simply not enough and succumbed after a fairly prolonged attack by two elves, a saber cat, and a bony soldier. How did I get spider out of soldier? I confess it did take a while. A passing bear also got involved somehow and died for its troubles. That witch really took no prisoners. After a lot of healing and drinking magic potions, I foolishly ventured deeper into the cave, very slowly, stealthily, and quietly for me. Unfortunately, Drogo doesn't seem to do stealth well for a cat. Saber cats apparently are the rush in quick with tooth and claw and rip the target to shreds. Didn't work this time. The first target we saw just blasted us both with fire bolts. Sorry about that. And and chased us out of the cave with our tails between our legs. Well, Drogo's tail between his legs. My pride was chastened. Braylena just looked at us, smiled sweetly, and headed back to the hunter's camp. God, I was so pissed off. I would be back. Trust me on this, bloody human witches. 3 of them at least, sitting around their damn fires, stirring God knows what in those pots of theirs. They're in serious trouble now, or, well, the future really. I've now discovered we had wandered a bit too far north and east for Knife Point Ridge. My mapping skills aren't the best, I must confess. The hunters pointed us in the correct direction, and I updated my maps and added a few notes for my journal. So after a couple of late evening drinks, a bite to eat, off to bedroll time. Gods, I was sore and tired. Those bloody flames sting, even though I am reasonably immune to flames and such. So that's, oh man, sorry, I'm drying out quick this morning. So that was some excerpts from the Journal of MacBeta. Yeah, let me double check. I think we came up with a date for the next roundtable. I apologize. I literally just got in last night, so I'm a little out of sorts. I gotta scroll back. Keep scrolling back and scrolling back some more. And scrolling back. Sorry for snorting in the mic. Sorry about that. And scroll back. And scroll back. Okay. It looks like Looks like next weekend we'll be doing a roundtable on the 5th, I believe, in the early afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, of course. That'll be on YouTube. I'll probably do it on Mixlr as well. And I'll probably be playing Willie the Breton while we're doing that. So look for that next weekend. I'll put that out on Sunday. There'll probably only be single parters this season because it just makes more sense. We're not breaking up the separate types of quests unless it goes extremely long. If it's over 2 hours, I'll if it's like 3, I'll break it into 2. Just because it's easier for listening, gives us a little more time to set things up, things like that. So, but I'm going to cut this one a little short today because I am having trouble breathing, having trouble speaking, as you've heard, and coughing a lot. But thanks for still sticking with Skyrim, even though Fallout is out. It may be on my TV right now. I'm not playing it at the moment. I do need to get the computer hooked back up down here so I can play some Skyrim. But I know a bunch of people have been playing. If you want to be involved in the roundtable, we're just doing the necromancer character. I think we may have some other people on next week, so maybe we'll have a double episode. Yeah, that was me coughing again. And but if you want to be involved or you have anything you want to add to it, you can email us at skyrimbookclub.ca. Please, if you get a chance, leave an iTunes review. It just helps for visibility with the show. And if you're playing Fallout, check out the Fallout feed. We haven't had a new episode in about a week or so. Been on vacation, so hopefully get to that this week. And if you what else? If you haven't, check out Fallout Off the Record because Shailene and Rick are incredibly nice and do a great job over there. And they hopped on the show previously, and obviously Shailene hopped on during the what was that called? Podcast marathon thing. Sorry, I'm trying to blank. But so yeah, check out our show, check out their show, check out any podcast you enjoy, and support it. Not support it, I'm talking financially. I'm just talking about support it, Send in feedback, leave a review, let people know about it. That's the best thing you could do for any show that you like. And because it's a fun time. It's about community. It's a good thing. Alrighty. I'm going to get some socks on. My feet are cold. My throat is dry.